Hello friends, this is Ian Boyd, the writer-director of the up-and-coming feature-length documentary film, Being Left-Handed. This is episode 2 of This Left-Handed Day in History. It's the 26th day of February. I hope this video finds you well. Let's get into it. Let's see who was born on this day. Well, in 1982, American singer-songwriter and left-hander Nate Ruess, lead vocalist of Fun, came into the world. Nate was featured on Pink's 2013 US #1 hit, Just Give Me a Reason. As a side note, Pink is also left-handed. Happy birthday, Nate. On a more somber note, fellow lefty Buddy Miles passed away on this day in 2008. He may be best known for the Band of Gypsies along with fellow southpaw Jimi Hendrix, which once again means that band was 66 1/3% southpaw. Although he was mainly known for drumming with Jimi Hendrix and many other top musicians, he's also an inspired guitarist as well, who also played left-handed. I would have loved to have seen him and Hendrix play lefty guitar together. That's not a sight you see too often. As far as nuptials are concerned, in 2009, supermodel Gisele Bündchen weds NFL New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady at Santa Monica Catholic Church in Santa Monica. Apparently, Brady throws righty but bats lefty. If that's natural, then his brain is probably wired lefty. Anyone with more info on this, let me know. In music, the Fab Four, who all have some left dominance, except for George, who's also exceptionally talented, were recorded in multiple spots in history on the 26th. In 1964, the Beatles worked on the final mixes for Can't Buy Me Love and You Can't Do That. The single, which was released the following month, topped the charts all over the world. In 1966, the Beatles' Rubber Soul was #1 on the U.S. album chart, the group's 7th U.S. album chart topper. The Beatles also released Beatles Again, also known as Hey Jude, in 1970. In 1987, the first release of the Beatles compact discs. In 2009, a 10-minute version of the Beatles' Revolution 1 was leaked onto the internet, giving fans a never-before-heard listen of what the White Album sessions must have been like. I'd actually love to check that out. It sounds totally fab, I love it. In 2005, the childhood home of the former Beatle and super lefty icon Paul McCartney sold for the equivalent of 231,000 Federal Reserve notes at an auction in Liverpool. McCartney moved into that house on Western Avenue, Speke, aged 4 with his parents, Jim and Mary, in 1947, and lived in the 3-bedroom house for 6 years. In 1977, another heavily influenced lefty group, the Eagles, went on to #1 in the U.S. charts with New Kid in Town, the group's 3rd U.S. #1 single and #20 in the U.K. Both Don Henley and Glenn Frey are and were both left-handed. They both played right-handed, except for Henley, who was rumored to have played drums lefty. It's probably true. I went back and forth. I played drums a little bit, and I went back and forth for a long time myself. In 1979, a rotten lefty, Johnny Rotten, was involved in a court case with the Sex Pistols against their manager, Malcolm McLaren, where it was revealed that only $51,000 was left of the $1,360,000 the band had earned. Thanks a lot, Malcolm. On the silver screen in 1916, Mutual signs exceptional southpaw Charlie Chaplin to a film contract. He was certainly one of the greatest influences on film and comedy in history. On a side note, comedy is one of the many places that lefties reign. Lenny Bruce, Harpo, Richard Pryor, Jay Leno, David Letterman, Don Rickles, Jerry Seinfeld, Jon Stewart, Drew Carey, Will Ferrell, Terry Thomas, Carol Burnett, just to name a very few. In literature, Peter Pan, in 1955, closes at the Winter Garden Theater in New York City after 149 performances. Peter Pan was originally written by lefty J.M. Barrie. On the news in 1998, left-handed talk show host and one of the world's richest women, if not the richest woman, Oprah Winfrey, was found not guilty in the beef defamation trial brought by Texas cattlemen. Thank the scales of justice for that one. And speaking of oppression and persecution, in 1616, astronomer and physicist Galileo Galilei had the injunction delivered by those fun and entertaining characters of the Spanish Inquisition, commanding him to stop spreading his ideas about the nature of our solar system. Galileo is believed to be left-handed, If indeed some left-handers are believed to be southpaws, it's actually a compliment to lefties because those people are thought to be left-handed because they think outside the box. Some of us don't even see the box. The real reason lefties tend to be regarded as creative is because left-handers don't like abstraction, which seems like a contradiction, but what to one person seems like abstraction, to another is just order, correct placement, and clear thinking. Speaking of the atomic universe and the perversion and abstraction of it, in 1952, Winston Churchill announces Britain has its own atomic bomb. Great, thanks a lot. That's all we need is more atomic bombs. Back in 1815, master strategist and left-handed Napoleon Bonaparte and his supporters leave Elba to start a 100-day reconquest of France. And finally, in 1910, another master strategist but pacifist, Mahatma Gandhi, supports the African People's Organization's resolution to declare the Prince of Wales' day of arrival in South Africa a day of mourning, in protest against South Africa's acts of disenfranchisement of Indians, coloreds, and Africans. Rock on, Gandhi. And that's it for this Left-Handed Day in History, Episode 2. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share, and let the era of the Southpaws begin. Thanks a lot.